The film begins with an elderly farmer named Aimee, who lives with his wife in a lush countryside in France. Aimee's wife is a hardworking woman who not only helps him with the farm work, but also manages the household. Aimee also has a rabbit that he carefully looks after, as he plans to participate in a competition next month. One day, after preparing breakfast, Aimee's wife goes to the barn but gets electrocuted and loses her life. After this incident, Aimee registers his wife's remaining belongings in his name. Concerned about a future filled with loneliness and hardships, he confides in the registrar at the property office. The registrar suggests that he visit matchmaking agencies to find a new companion. The next day, we see Aimee carefully reading the washing machine's manual to figure out how to operate it. In the evening, his brother visits him and suggests that his son, Antoine, could help with the farm work. However, Aimee explains that his only problem is with some of the household chores and that he doesn't need help on the farm. As time passes, Aimee finds loneliness harder to bear. He can't even make a simple meal for himself. Meanwhile, his eyes fall on a matchmaking agency card, and without hesitation, he heads there. At the agency, he meets Mira, the director, who begins filling out forms and asks Aimee about his habits, interests, and personality. She then shows him a video of several women from different countries who have registered with the agency. However, after watching the video, Aimee argues with Mira, accusing her of trying to sell the women to him. Mira, with sadness, explains that her goal is to help these women escape their difficult lives. These words slightly calm Aimee down. In the next scene, Aimee hears from one of his acquaintances that an agricultural exhibition is being held in Germany. He contacts Mira and discusses the matter with her. Aimee asks Mira to accompany him on this trip and introduce him to some of the women who have registered at the agency. In the next sequence, Aimee and Mira board a plane, and after arriving, they stay at a hotel. Meanwhile, we see a woman named Elena working as a cleaner. She has recently received a telegram about this interview and is preparing for it. Later, Aimee and Mira interview all the women who are interested in going to France with Aimee. However, after meeting several women, Aimee still hasn't found anyone suitable. He is looking for a woman who can help him both at home and on the farm. Eventually, Elena is the last person to enter for the interview. She pretends to be very interested in farming and life on a farm. After the conversation, Aimee concludes that among all the options, Elena is the only one he can have hope Indiana. Before leaving, Elena says goodbye to her family and daughter. Aimee takes her to France, but is still hesitant about introducing her to his family. Therefore, he asks Elena to stay at a hotel for a while so he can prepare for her introduction. Aimee decides to introduce Elena as a relative of his late wife, who used to live in Romania and, for some reason, cannot speak French. Later, Aimee's brother, Chris, receives a letter from one of Aimee's late wife's acquaintances, stating that they are coming to work on Aimee's farm. Chris encourages Aimee to hire one of his relatives for this job. However, Aimee subtly implies that he has no intention of accepting this person. That night, Aimee's family is surprised by Elena's sudden appearance and begins talking to her. However, following Aimee's instructions, Elena pretends she cannot speak French. Aimee then takes Elena to the house and separates her from himself to prevent his family from getting suspicious. The next day, Aimee continues with his work, and Elena starts helping him. Elena prepares lunch for Aimee and then continues with other tasks. Her behavior makes Aimee feel happy, and he starts enjoying her presence in his life more. Later, Aimee takes his rabbit to the competition along with Elena. When they arrive, all eyes are on them. While Aimee is on stage, a few young men approach Elena and hug her, which makes Aimee feel jealous. After Aimee wins the competition, they celebrate together. But when those same young men approach Elena again, Aimee shows his jealousy once more. The young men assume Elena is single and works on the farm. That night, Elena takes a shower, does her makeup, and goes to the bedroom to wait for Aimee. However, Aimee, who is extremely jealous, begins to argue with her. Elena becomes angry and leaves the house in the middle of the night. Aimee goes after her and eventually finds her in a phone booth, calling her family. Feeling guilty, Aimee apologizes and admits that he gets jealous when others approach Elena. However, Elena asks Aimee to introduce her as his wife to everyone so that these incidents don't happen again. One day, Elena decides to send a gift to her daughter and lies to Amy, saying it's for her younger sister. As time passes, Elena becomes tired of hiding things and living with Amy, and unlike in the beginning, she stops talking to him. This makes Amy decide to turn his love into reality and propose to Elena. He goes to the market to buy a ring, and when he returns home, he finds Elena sad and writing a letter to her daughter. Elena tearfully admits to Amy that she wants to return to Germany. Amy then finds the letter, written in German. He tries to translate it but struggles, so he contacts Mira for help. After translating the letter, Mira tells Amy that Elena cares about him and doesn't want to leave him. In the next scene, Amy goes to town to check his lottery tickets, but when he gets there, he finds out that they didn't win. So, he goes to the bank, withdraws a significant amount of money, and returns home. He then tells Elena that he's been lucky and his ticket has won. Elena is overjoyed by the news, as it's the first time she's seen such a large amount of money, but she doesn't realize that Amy did this just to make her happy. Elena hurriedly goes to the market, buys a plane ticket, and returns home. The next day, Amy finds the plane ticket and expresses his disappointment with Elena's decision. He tells her that she can now go back to Germany, and he won't stand in her way. Amy then asks Elena what she plans to do with all that money, and Elena replies that she intends to open a dance class. The next day, when they are at the airport, Elena changes her mind about leaving, but Amy convinces her to go, even though he is reluctant to let her go. After arriving in Germany, Elena opens her dance class, but she feels neither satisfaction nor peace. One day, by chance, Elena finds a newspaper listing the lottery winners. Upon checking, she realizes that she was never the winner. Understanding that Amy cares for her and sacrificed for her, Elena decides to return to France with her daughter. When Elena arrives at the farm, Amy is overjoyed to see her. They embrace, and Elena confesses her love for Amy. The film ends at this moment. The overall message of this story emphasizes the importance of love, sacrifice, and understanding in human relationships. Through the story of Amy and Elena, we see how sacrifice and efforts to make the other person happy can strengthen and deepen relationships. Ultimately, the story shows that true and lasting love can overcome obstacles and challenges, leading to happiness and peace. What do you think about this man's sacrifice? Was it appropriate for his age? Or was it truly done out of pure sincerity? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you and goodbye.